Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This your brother Nawak, once again coming at you with another lesson. In Lord's will, it will be edifying to the Lord's elect. Now, I want to entitle this lesson, Eve has a dream of missiles hitting Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America. This is prophecy. This is prophecy that missiles are going to hit Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America. And it's all listed in the scriptures. Now, let me pull it up on the screen here. There we go. Yep, this is her right here. She just had a dream, which the Lord said, pursuant to the book of Joel, chapter 2, that he would pour his spirit upon all flesh, and people will be having dreams and having visions. And these are the things that have been happening more and more and more. People are having all kinds of visions and dreams about different things that are about to happen. We're talking about prophetic things. Jacob's trouble. We're talking about the MOTB, the mark of the beast. See, we're talking about the Third World War. We're talking about missiles hitting this place. We're talking about our Lord and Savior, YAHAWASHI, coming to deliver the elect, take down these heathen nations. All these things and more are different visions and dreams that the Lord has been given. It's been spreading it out throughout all the nations all over the world. And like I said, this Eve, she just had a dream about missiles hitting this place. So this is prophecy, and I want to back it up with the scriptures. And so for all you that didn't know, this is how Babylon or America, this is the end for it. This is how this place gonna end. See, just in case you didn't know. And we coming closer and closer to that day to where those nukes is gonna be shot from all over the world. A lot of them gonna come from Russia, and a lot of these missiles, most of the missiles gonna hit right over here in Babylon the Great. And that's how this place is gonna go out, by thermonuclear destruction and lasers coming off the chariots whom the Lord is coming in, along with the angels. They're coming in chariots, and they're gonna be shooting concentrated laser beams of fire, which is also in the scriptures. It's also prophecy. Now, the title of this video is Eve Shares a Dream of Missiles Hitting America. This is from the Hopeful Elect 3 channel. Subscribe and be edified. I'm going to play this video and then rewind it back, and we can get into this.
I got a dream this morning, and it was quick, but it was enough for me to understand what the Lord was showing me. So I'm in this dream. I'm in the middle of this street. The Lord shows me, it's around nighttime. So I'm trying to paint a scenery for you guys. It was around nighttime. People were, just heading out of this store, and they were just walking around. And the Lord shows me missiles starting to come out of the sky. I'm seeing missiles hit, and you can hear the rebound and the recoil of the missiles into the ground, and then it shook through the earth. And it was one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. And these were attacks on America, right? I'm telling you this dream that I'm having. And the things that I was being shown in the dream, it was like boom, 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 right? And so then after that, as I'm busy looking, I see people start freaking out. It's hitting people's cars. and the car alarms, they start going off, boop, 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 boop. And then people are running to their cars. I'm busy watching people from the right side of the street on this highway. They're starting to get in their cars. They're busy grabbing their children, putting them in cars, and and they're trying to drive off and try to get to safety. They tried to get to safety, but it was too late. Like, the missiles, they were coming one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, like it was non-stop with these missiles that were just coming. And it was like, they looked as if, and the main reason why I'm using the word missile is because it looks like a shooting star, but it was orange, and it came in so fast, like lightning, shh, boom, shh, boom, immediately.
Now, everything that she was saying and more is contained in the scriptures as prophecy.
Shown the dream, it was like
she kept talking about is how fast they were coming, how fast over
boom.
And over the missiles was hitting, boom, 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 boom. That's a good example of how these things are going to hit, because the scriptures talk about it's going to be over 200 million explosions that's going to hit over here in Babylon the Great. And I want to get into that. And she also described the color, and the scriptures also describe the color of the propulsion system on these missiles, which all of the details is contained in the scriptures for all you who didn't know. Yes, and there will be a World War III. And all of the wars were depicted or wrote about in the scriptures. World War I, World War II, and World War III. It's all contained in the scriptures. So this third world war is coming. Everything has been setting up. The Lord's been moving all the pieces. These devils and these heathens can't do nothing to stop World War III going nuclear, because World War III has already started. See, that's the one thing we keep going over is World War III has already started, and it's going to go nuclear. Now, once it goes nuclear, that's it. This place that you see now, you will see no more. Babylon the Great will be completely decimated, completely consumed with fire. So this is going to be the end of this place. See, because this place is wicked, man. And the Lord, sooner or later, he's going to destroy this place with nuclear missiles. See, and the lasers coming off the chariots. So one of the things I noticed about this dream that she had, she says she's seeing all of these missiles hit, and she's seeing the people running and grabbing their kids and trying to get away with cars. And the one thing she said is that it was too late. And that's what we keep trying to tell Jake. It's going to be too late. Once the destruction starts, if you're not of the elect, see, if you ain't been heeding this word, if you're not a part of this thing, you're going to be burnt up right here in Babylon the Great. That's the bottom line. That's the seriousness of this thing. So we're going to continue to preach and tell you that these things are about to happen before they happen. See? So at any rate, I want to get this article before I get into these prophecies, because I was talking about World War III and how close we're getting to that time. Of course, there are other prophecies that are going to come to pass, like the MOTB, for example, the mark of the beast, the RFID micro C-hip, and the RFID brain C-hip, or those devices that they want to put in your head, on your forehead. That's all prophecy, and that's the mark of the beast. See, and that thing is going to come out, be made mandatory, and go across the whole entire world. So before World War III goes nuclear, that prophecy is going to come to pass. Because keep in mind, everything that the Lord says, all of the prophecies are going to happen in the order in which the Lord set it up to happen in. Now, let me get this article. I'm going to read some of this article from the shtfplan.com. It says, we are entering the most dangerous chapter in World War III as the agreement with Iran collapses. And we've been saying this repeatedly over and over and over. This is not a time for peace. See, every single peace deal that they come up with, it's always broken, because we're at that time. Things is not going back. Ain't no peace talks. Ain't no we gonna put everything back, reverse everything, and then we're gonna have peace on the earth. No, that's not the time we're living in. As the scriptures say, there's a time and a place for everything under heaven. See, everything is going to happen according to what the Lord says. And we're not living in a time of peace. We're living in a time of war. Let me continue. It says, a lot of people out there still don't realize that we are literally watching World War III play out right in front of our eyes. And we've been warning you, the prophets, a great millstone, and like-minded men on down all over the entire world. The Lord has set us up to prophesy about the downfall of Babylon the Great, King America. And World War III is going to mark the end of this place once those nukes are launched. It says a lot of people are still out there, still don't realize that we are literally watching World War III play out right in front of our eyes. It says the war between Russia and Ukraine is already longer than World War I was. See, a lot of people don't know that. We're living in a time of war. Things is not going back. The time of peace is over. There'll be peace when the kingdom of heaven is set up on the earth. But until then, get ready for a lot of destruction to hit this place. See, during Jacob's trouble, a lot of people going to get deleted during that time when Jacob's trouble really get hot, because it's already started. It's getting ready to get real bad out here. It says Russia and Ukraine is already longer than World War I was, and every single ceasefire in the Middle East that has been agreed to since October the 7th, 2023 is ultimately collapsed. And that's the Lord bringing about prophecy. See, it's all about the prophecies. The Lord said that Babylon the Great, King America, is going to get drawn over there to the Middle East from them small headers that are in our land. And that's exactly what has happened. And every time America or Babylon has tried to make a peace deal to get out of it, the Lord, he's making sure this thing continues to go forward. See, this is out of man's power. We're talking about the prophecies of the Lord YAHAWASHI. No man can control what's about to happen. These things are already set to happen. See, it says just a couple of weeks ago, the world was celebrating because the U.S. had signed a memorandum of understanding with Iran. It says, and we were being told that we were finally going to have permanent peace. See, we already know, like I said, we already know. People can say what they want to say. We can hear all these speeches and people can believe what they want to believe, but this is not that time for peace. It says that we're going to have permanent peace in the Middle East. So how did that work out? Yeah, how did that work out? It says, I feel like a broken record when I keep saying that there isn't going to be peace in the Middle East, but it is the truth. And we're telling you what the truth is. This thing is going to continue to escalate over there in the Middle East. It's going to continue to ramp up and up and up and up until finally those nukes are launched. These nations are going to push those buttons. It's going to be nuclear. Man, it's going to be nuclear warheads flying across, missiles flying across the world, all over the entire world. See? And we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of missiles are going to be launched. And people don't understand that, the Lord has set this thing up from the beginning. Those missiles, the Lord calls them the weapons of his indignation. He calls them his armory. So ultimately, the Lord had them build these nukes because in the end, because he knew all this wickedness is going to be taking place in this world. And he already knew how he was going to end it. See? The same nukes that these countries built to protect themselves or to show that they have power or to flex on other people is the same things that the Lord's going to use to take them out. It says at the end of last week, the Iranians attacked a commercial vessel that was traveling through the Strait of Hormuz using a route that they did not authorize, and the U.S. responded by bombing several Iranian military targets. This is something that I covered in my article from the Core supporters on Friday. Then Saturday, the same cycle repeated again. Iran attacked another commercial vessel that was attempting to slip through the Strait of Hormuz along the unauthorized route. And in the response, the U.S. conducted an even larger wave of strikes. So I can read on, but hey, War 3 nuclear, going nuclear is imminent. It's going to happen. See, it's nothing that you can do, nothing that they can say. Ain't no peace talks. Nobody gonna put this thing back. It's not finna be peace in the world. The Lord has a time and a place for everything under heaven. And that's exactly the time we're living in. We're living in a time of war. Let me see if I want to read a little bit more here. Let's see here. This is a really good article. I'm going to put it in the description box below as well, and you can read it for yourself. But yeah, we're talking about war. President Zelensky stated on Saturday, June the 27th, that Russia forces deployed approximately 1,400 attack drones, 1,500 guided aerial bombs, and 19 missiles of various types, including ballistic missiles, against Ukraine over the past week. In a statement published by the Telegram, Zelensky noted that 15 Ukrainian regions were subjected to Russian attacks during the 7-day period. He highlighted that the cities Kherson, I think it's pronounced Zaporizhzhia, and Kharkiv and Sumy faced a near deadly bombardment. That's because we in a time of war right now. I don't know how many ways we can say it, but this is that time. And like I said, this is a really good article. And basically, when you read this article, it starts to really sink in what we've been saying over and over and over and over, that this thing is not going back to a time of peace. The Lord has said there's going to be World War III, and it's that World War III is going to go nuclear. Now, from there, let's get into these scriptures, because, hey, these dreams and these visions are going to continue to come until that time where, hey, that's it. These are all warnings from the Lord YAHAWASHI, and we're going to continue to bring it out in biblical prophecy. Let's start out in the book of Revelation. Let's start out in the book of Revelation chapter 9, because this actually describes how many warheads, how many explosions is about to hit at Babylon the Great, and it describes the missiles themselves. So, like they say, the scriptures don't miss. The prophecies don't miss. This is Revelation chapter 9 and verse 16. It says, "And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, meaning 200 million explosions. And I heard the number of them." See that? This is the vision that the Lord gave the Apostle John on the Isle of Patmos over 2,000 years ago. It says, "And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone." Basically, this is describing a nuclear missile. And that jacinth color, I got it pulled up here. Let me see here. Yep. You see this orangish color right here? Don't just remind you of the color of the fire that comes out of a missile when you see one flying, whether they're shooting off a rocket or a missile. The propulsion system uses fire. See? You see fire coming out of the back of it, and it's this jacinth color. See? Jacinth color. Now from there, this is the propulsion system. You see that jacinth color? That's how the missiles are getting from one end of the earth to the other, because of the propulsion system. And out of the back, you seeing fire coming out. And like I said, it's all described in the scriptures. It says, verse 18, by these, talking about them nuclear missiles, was a third part of men killed. And the third part of men is talking about Esau, the Edomites, so-called white men, the ones that are ruling the world right now. See, them nukes marks the end for all of these heathens. It says, and by fire and by smoke and by brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. It says the power is in their mouth. See, the power is in their mouth. That's talking about the warheads. And I got that pulled up too. This is the power right here. A lot of people think that a nuclear missile is just talking about one explosion. Well, each nuke contains, see this one right here, this is like 10 warheads. And they got nukes now that has a whole lot more warheads contained in one. So when one is launched, you're talking about many, many explosions. People don't realize that. They just thinking one missile per explosion. No, we're talking about multiple explosions of warheads that are contained in each missile. So we're talking about destruction that this world has never seen is coming real soon. See, continuing on, verse 18, by these was the third part of men killed by fire and by smoke and by brimstone, which issued out of their mouths, for the power is in their mouth and in their tails. See, the power is in their mouth and in their tails. That's the mouth, and this is the tail, the propulsion system. See, the warheads contained in the top, and the propulsion system of power coming out of the back. Continuing on, it says in their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents. See that? Fiery serpents. And when you see these things launch, I don't have a picture pulled up, but when you see these things flying through the air, that's how it's describing the propulsion system. See that? Were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. So there you go. This is the vision that the Apostle John was given, and hey, he saw it and he heard it. So this is prophecy getting ready to take place. And we warning you to the spirit and power of the Lord YAHAWASHI. It's time to get ready. Prepare for what's coming. See, Jake, you got to return to the Lord. This is the time to repent, return to the Lord YAHAWASHI, where there's still time. And the ones of our people who are of the elect are going to turn to the Lord before it's too late. Ultimately, because the elect were chosen before the foundation of the world to be saved out of the destruction that's coming. Now from there, let's get this in second address, because this is also, the missiles are also talked about, whether it's the Old Testament, the New Testament, or the Apocrypha. Let's get this out of the Apocrypha, because Esdras was also given visions, just like the Apostle John was given visions about this time of destruction that's coming. This is the book of second Esdras, chapter 16. I'm going to start at verse 3. This is the book of second Esdras, chapter 16, verse 3. It said, a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who shall quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? This is talking about nuclear missiles. You can't turn these things back once they're launched. Ain't no coming back. And who gonna quench the fire? You gonna contain the fire of a nuclear explosion? No one is. The plagues are sent, and they also are referred to as plagues, that seventh plague. See? The plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May a man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may one quench the fire in the stubble when it has begun to burn? The question is no and no. See? It says, may one turn again the arrow that is shot from a strong archer? If you shooting a bow and arrow, once that thing is let go, the arrow is gone. It ain't coming back. That's the way these nukes are getting ready to be launched. It says, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues. This is all from the Lord YAHAWASHI. It's all prophecy that these nukes that they've been building over the years get launched. It says, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath. And people don't realize how angry the Lord is. He is super angry. And a lot of people finna get the wrath of the Lord. It says, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? Man, you ain't seen nothing yet. You're not going to want to be down here when them nukes is launched. And when the Lord starts shooting them laser beams down on this place, it's going to be total destruction, fire and brimstone everywhere. It says, the Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder in its presence. The earth quaketh. And hey, the sister, she just was breaking down how when they were hitting, she felt the vibration go out throughout the whole earth. And the scriptures also describe that the earth is going to rock to and fro like a drunkard. So many warheads is finna hit this earth. The whole earth is going to be rocking. You talking about a level of devastation. This place has never happened in the earth before. See, it says the earth quaketh and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with the waves from the deep, and the waves are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. This whole earth is about to get rocked, shook up. See, islands are going to be moved out of their places. Waves roaring. Them nukes is going to cause so much devastation. You are not going to want to be on the earth when these things are going off, because the Lord has a plan for the elect. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, there's an elect of Israel that the Lord is going to save. Not all of Israel, but they're going to be the ones getting beamed up all over the world. The chariots are going to be beaming up the elect all over the world simultaneously as them warheads are touching down. So before them warheads hit, the elect is going to be out of there, already on the chariot, see? Looking down, watching this place get destroyed. See that? 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot to the ends of the world. This is how you know it's not talking about arrows. An arrow can go so many 100 feet or something. I don't know. You can look that up. Arrows don't go that far. We're talking about something that's going to be shot. See this? Into the ends of the world. So the only thing we know of that's going to come from one end of the world to the other is ICBM missiles, thermonuclear missiles. The propulsion system on these things can go thousands of miles. See, and now they got hypersonic missiles. They can get over here in 30 minutes or less. So people ain't going to have time to get in their bunkers when these things go off. This is going to be fast. This thing is going to move fast. Just like the chariots are going to be beaming up the elect all over the world. Just before the destruction. Verse 14, behold, the plagues are sent, and it says, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. So once the nukes are launched, they're not going to return again until they come upon the earth. Once they reach their destination, which is going to be hitting right over here in Babylon the Great, and other places of the world is going to get hit too. See? The small hatters over there in our land, that place is about to get swept with the besom of destruction. But hey, that place is going to get built back up, because hey, that's our land over there. We're going to be over there in that land. That's why we're going to get taken. We're going to get taken over there after the destruction. See, the Lord is going to completely take out all these different heathen nations, bring down all their armies. See, and after this place is destroyed, the Lord is going to set up the kingdom of heaven right here on the earth. It says a fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Thermonuclear destruction. Like an arrow, which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward. Even so, the plagues shall be sent upon the earth, shall not return again. So like I said, once those buttons are launched, and we're coming to that time, we're getting very, very close We're getting very, very close. People are like, for example, people right now, they're getting ready to celebrate the 4th. We're not looking at it like that. We're looking at it like we're getting closer and closer to the end of this place, and we're getting closer and closer to being delivered. Well, the 4th of July marks the 250th year of this place, and people don't know what the average amount of time for an empire that has been in the past is about 250 years. So people were thinking that's a good mark. Oh, we're at 250. We thinking, hey, yeah, you at 250. It's getting very, very close. We're about to get out of here. We're about to be delivered. We're about to see Babylon be destroyed. We're about to see the Lord come in with the chariots. See, we're thinking about it in a whole nother light. See, when people thinking it's time to celebrate, time to be happy, when we saying, oh, that just marking the end. We getting closer to the end of this place. See? Now from there, let's get this in the book of 1 Thessalonians, because the lady, she also talked about, like I said, people were trying to get out of the way and get in their cars, but it was too late. Of course, it's too late. Once those nukes is launched, lest you of the elect getting beamed out of here, you through. You will not escape the judgment of the Lord YAHAWASHI. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5. Chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 1. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Now, who knows that? The elect knows that. The prophets that are teaching knows that. The ones who are listening and learning know that. But hey, you 2/3 and all you heathens out there, you don't know what the hell is going on. See? For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So, hey, the day of the Lord is going to catch a whole lot of people off guard. They're not going to be ready for what's coming, because the day of the Lord, the missile's going to be launched. And once those nukes are launched, the YAHAWASHI are going to show up with a host of angels. See? And it's going to be too late for most of the people on this earth. Verse 3, it says, so when they shall say peace, and safety, see that? Then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as shall bear upon a woman with child, they shall not escape. You will not escape the judgment. That final plague of them thermonuclear missiles. Who's going to be able to escape that? Only ones that are going to escape that is the elect of Israel. Everybody else, you're going to be through. You're going to be tore up down here. The elites, they going to make it in those bunkers, but hey, we going to get them all out them bunkers, and they going into slavery. See that? They going straight into captivity. So they're not in those bunkers to be saved because it's going to be good for them. They're in those bunkers to continue to ensure that prophecy comes to pass. Because everything that I'm saying is in the scriptures. Everything that I'm saying is biblical prophecy. See? And you know it's going to come to pass because the Lord said his words does not come back void. They accomplish what he said them to do. And all of these things we're talking about is what the Lord has already put in play. We're just living it out on the earth. See? It says, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should take you as a thief. The elect, the ones that are listening and learning and teaching, we are not in darkness. The Lord has put us up on game. We know what's coming. We're telling you about things to come before they happen. That's what it means to prophesy. We're telling you about all of the dangers that are coming before they happen. So we're set up to warn the people. It says, ye are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. So the elect, we are the children of the light and the children of the day. The 2/3 and these heathens out here, they are the ones of the night. They are the ones of darkness. See? Gross darkness. They don't know what's going on. Because only the ones set up to receive this truth and to believe it is the elect of Israel. It says, therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. So many of our people, most of our people, they in a deep stupor. They drunk. They don't know what's going on. They out here sleepwalking. While the truth is going forth, hey, it's passing them right by. While the prophets are out there teaching and preaching week in and week out all over the world, and the internet doing the heavy lifting, our people is walking by in a stupor, drunk. And they're not going to get it because it's not written for them to get it. See, only the elect is going to get this truth and be delivered. Verse 7, for they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. So, hey, 2/3 of our people will never get this. They weren't set up to get it. They weren't set up to be prepared. That's why when they shall say peace and safety, they thinking nothing gonna happen. Sudden destruction cometh upon them. And that's exactly how this thing gonna go down. The elect, we're watching. We're looking up. We're looking up. We're watching. We're watching daily. We're looking at everything happening in the world. See? And we're going to continue to line these prophecies up, these different visions and dreams and the things that are going on in the world with biblical prophecy. Why it's still time? Why it's still time? And it's still time because the prophets were still prophesying. But once the Lord cut off their prophecies and he brings about the famine of the word, prepare for the destruction. Prepare for the destruction to break out. Now from there, let's get this in the book of Jeremiah. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, because Babylon the Great, aka America, is going to be completely destroyed and consumed by fire and brimstone. This is Jeremiah 51 and 24. It says, and I will render unto Babylon, talking about America, not ancient Babylon. America is the modern day Babylon. It says, into all the inhabitants of Chaldea, all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Lord Yahawah, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord Yahawah, which destroyeth all the earth. Talking about you devils, talking about you Edomites. The Lord is coming. You're going to receive judgment real soon. See, enjoy it while it lasts, because, hey, your heavens is getting ready to come to an end. It says, and I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks, and I will make thee a burnt mountain. So the Lord getting ready to make Babylon the Great, aka America, a burnt mountain. He can completely decimate this place. It's going about to be consumed with fire. It says, and they shall not take of thee a stone of a corner, nor a stone for foundations. So the Lord, you ain't going to be 2 bricks you're going to be able to stack up when the Lord get through destroying this place with them nukes and them lasers. This is how completely decimated this land is about to be. It says, but thou shalt be desolate forever. You see that? But thou shalt be desolate forever, saith the Lord Yahawah. This is the only land, Babylon the Great, America, where it will not be inhabited. See, it's going to be a testament of what it meant to be wicked. All the wickedness and the bloodshed that has happened to our people in Babylon the Great, America. The Lord knows. The Lord knows everything that has happened and everything that is happening. Everything's being recorded. So he's super angry with this place. And he's going to make sure there ain't nothing left. There ain't going to be 2 bricks left. Everything is going to be totally consumed with fire and brimstone, thermonuclear destruction. Now from there, let's get this in Isaiah, because like I said, this place is not going to be inhabited. Let's get this in Isaiah chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 17. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. And it's talking about the Russians. That land used to be occupied over there where the Russians are by the Medes. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, and they shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. When the Lord put the spirit on these devils to launch those nukes, they're not going to care about no gold and silver or anything like that. They're going to have one goal, and that's to launch. They're going to launch those nukes. See? The Lord going to have them think an evil thought, and those nukes are going to be launched. It says their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes shall not spare children. And that's the thing. When the Lord put the Spirit on you to do something, you're going to do it. You're not going to be thinking about no people and babies and kids and all of that. They're going to have one thing on their mind: destruction. Launching those nukes. It says, verse 19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And we know what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. Those 4 cities, the Lord completely consumed them. He rained down fire and brimstone. See? And to this day, you can still find sulfur over there in that land, those lands. So these scriptures are real, man. These prophecies are real. Everything we're saying is real. Everything we're saying is coming to pass, and it's going to come to pass. No prophecy will not, every prophecy is going to come to pass. That's the bottom line. Verse 20, it shall never be inhabited. You see that? Babylon the great, America shall never be inhabited. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. All the Arabs coming over here making money with this gas station. I have all of that. All the heathens coming over here to Babylon the Great that's been making money over the years. This is about to be the end for you. Make your last few dollars, because this is about to be over. It says, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. So you're talking about unclean beasts, unclean animals is going to dwell in this land. See, it's going to be one big, huge desert. One big, huge desert. After the fire go out in Babylon the Great, it's going to be one big, huge desert. See? Well, unclean creatures and animals and birds is going to be here. That's all that's going to be here in this land. It says, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant palaces. It says, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. And that's the warning we're giving you through the Spirit and power of the Lord YAHAWASHI. We're coming to the end of this place. We're getting very, very close. Do you see what's going on in the world? The prophets are back prophesying week in and week out, putting up lessons. And the internet, the Lord set up to do the heavy lifting. So this word, the true gospel of the Lord, is going out now. And it's been going out. And it's getting ready to end, though, because we're very, very close. They're starting to put up different laws and regulations on people's speeches and what they can say and all of these things. Man, you trust me, the Lord is going to bring about the famine of the word. And that's going to be it. You're not going to get no more breakdowns and understanding. You're not going to be able to scoff the prophets, because we ain't going to be available for you to see. You're just going to be out here running around like a chicken with your head cut off, because you don't know what's going on. You don't know the truth. You don't understand what the Lord is doing. You don't understand why things are happening, because you ain't been listening and learning. You've been playing around, or you've been ignoring us, or you've been thinking that you don't need to hear it, or that it's not important. But you're going to find out in a worse way that you've been ignoring the true prophets of the Lord, and we've been preaching the truth all along. Now from there, let's close out here. And before I close out, speaking of these nukes, people don't understand how hot these things get. I actually pulled up some information here. It says the temperature of a nuclear explosion. It says, let's get some of this. It says during the peak energy output of a 1 megaton nuclear weapon can produce temperatures of about 100 million degrees Celsius at its center. You see that? About 4 to 5 times that which occurs at the center of the sun. So the Lord has put it on these devils to create these nukes, and they didn't come up with them on their own. They didn't come up with this on their own. You don't know how to split atoms. You can't even see the atoms. The Lord put the spirit on these devils and their scientists to create these nukes for his purposes. They're the weapons of his indignation or his righteous anger. They're his armory. See, all of these nukes is the Lord's. Ultimately, they were built for his purposes because he's getting ready to sweep this place. See? As a matter of fact, I got it pulled up here. Isaiah 54:16, it says, "Behold, I have created the smith that blow up the coals in the fire." And the modern day smith is some scientists, some German scientists that develop these nukes. Those are the modern day smiths. It says, "And that bringeth forth the instrument for his work." The old smith, they were making tools and shields and different weapons. But the modern day smith have built these nukes. And I have created the waster to destroy. So all of this is coming from the Lord, YAHAWASHI. He is the source. Everything that is happening, everything that's going to happen, it's all coming from the Lord, YAHAWASHI. So these devils and these heathens, they ain't got no choice but to do what the Lord, thus saith the Lord. Bringing about prophecy, just like the prophets. We're going to prophesy. If you're a prophet, you're a true man of the Lord has you prophesying. That's the bottom line. So everything is moving according to the will and purposes of the Lord, YAHAWASHI. Now going back, the temperature can reach over 100 million degrees Celsius at its center, about 4 to 5 times that which occurs at the center of the sun. You're talking about complete destruction. And that converted 100 million Celsius to Fahrenheit, 180 million degrees Fahrenheit. 180 million degrees Fahrenheit. You're talking about total and complete destruction. These nukes are designed to turn everything back into its most smallest size. You see that? We're talking about total. These stuff over here in this land is going to be completely incinerated. That's what I'm saying. It's about to be completely incinerated by these nukes. Now from there, let's close out. Let's close out here in the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 10. It says, "But the day of the Lord it will come as a thief in the night." We just read about that in the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. The day of the Lord is going to come like a thief in the night. Total destruction is going to hit people like a thief in the night because they're not paying attention. They're in complete darkness, and they're going to stay in that darkness. See? And what does a thief do? They come in when you're not ready for them. They come in when you're sleeping. They come in when you're not prepared. That's the way the day of the Lord is going to hit these people. See? In which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. And the heavens we're talking about is not the spirit realm. The heavens that's talked about here is talking about Esau's heaven. You know how they say, "Hey, I'm living in hell," or "I'm living in heaven." Well, we're now in Esau's heaven. See, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. So right now, this is their heaven. And they need to live it up while they can, because it's getting ready to come to an end. It says, "By which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise." Thermonuclear destruction. You see how it lines up? The heavens is getting ready to pass away with a great noise. And what's louder than them nukes? And we talking about millions of explosions going on. Boom, 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 boom. One after another. We're talking about complete destruction. See? And just the heat alone that these things produce is going to be melting and destroying everything. It says, "And the elements shall melt with fervent heat." And everything we see is made out of elements. You made out of elements. Your cars, your houses, your buildings, everything is made out of elements. Those nukes are going to melt all of it. It's going to be completely consumed. It's not going to be here no more. See? "And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up." You see that? You see that? This place is getting ready to be burnt up. And that's why we continue to warn the people. See, you will not have any cloak for your sin. When you down here, those nukes are coming down. and you seeing the elect getting beamed up and you ain't being beamed up, you'll know why. You made mockery of the prophets. You thought this thing was a joke. You didn't believe. You didn't trust in the Lord YAHAWASHI. You didn't even call on the right names. You still calling on JC, Yahuwah, Yahweh. You still calling on all those false gods and all those false names. Man, the Lord he gonna show you, all right. See, he gonna show you. We've been telling you, we've been warning you. You need to call on Yahweh in the name of his son, YAHAWASHI. Those that call on the name of the Lord, the same shall be saved. Verse 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So knowing that this place is getting ready to be destroyed, completely destroyed and nuked by fire and brimstone, what should you be thinking about? What should you be talking about? You should be focused on the Lord YAHAWASHI. You should be talking about these scriptures and these prophecies. You should be focused on the things that are about to happen. This is where your conversation should be. Everybody else is out here talking about partying, going to the game, catching a concert, all these different things as distractions, watching the movies. I'm not saying it's a sin to do these things, but I'm just saying, what time are you living in? Where should your mind really be focused on? See? Verse 12, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High. See, only the elect is hastening for the coming of our Lord and Savior, YAHAWASHI. Only the elect. Everybody else, they don't want to see that day because they're about to be destroyed. But the elect, the hopeful elect, we have hope that we're one. We're hopeful that we're of that number, that we're going to be delivered ultimately in that day, on that day. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's exactly what we're looking forward to as a hopeful elect. We know that the kingdom of heaven is going to be set up right here on the earth. Most people, they thinking about the spirit realm. But the Lord already got everything set perfectly in the spirit realm. See, as he said in his prayer, he wanted to be on earth as it is in heaven. It's already set in heaven. And he's going to bring that same order to this earth. See, after that thermonuclear destruction, this earth is going to be rebuilt. The kingdom of heaven, this earth is going to be made more beautiful, more perfect than ever. The only land that's not going to be dwelled in on this earth is Babylon the Great, kid America. But everywhere else the Lord is going to set up, it's going to be beautiful. And we're going to rule in the kingdom of heaven in righteousness as Israelites, starting with the elect. And with that, I hope that you were edified. This has been Eve Has a Dream of Missiles Hitting Babylon, a.k.a. America. I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom.